Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live show. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I had to fix the camera. I guess my little guy was down here playing around. The camera was all like crooked when I came on. Anyway, let's see what's happening this weekend. All information presented here is for educational and informational purpose only, not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. How is everybody? Did you guys see that Eagles game today? Holy cow. What an ending to an NFL game. They had two blocked field goals. And then to end the game, they blocked the one field goal and ran it back for a touchdown, win the game. They were already up by like a point, but they sealed the deal there. So anyway, let's go through and see what's happening. That's how the market ended Friday. And I did go to the Joe Exotic event, guys. Holy cow. I was not expecting it to be that much fun. I had no idea what to expect. So I'll tell you all about that. Let some people pile in here. We'll go through the market. We'll see what's going on. And then we'll find the poppers for tomorrow and get rolling. I think the Chiefs and the Giants are also playing tonight. So a lot of things going on. And also, Elon and Trump sitting together at Charlie Kirk's funeral and looking like they were a little bit friendly. So that's always good to see, as a matter of fact. So that was nice. And all kinds of stuff happening this weekend. I think the futures were a little bit green, if I remember. I'll have to look at the Yahoo or Luis Rodriguez. Someone can let me know what they look like. And here we go. So ready? I go to the Joe Exotic event. I remember when I talked to him last time we had talked, and he had just gotten word from the White House that they were looking into his records and having a few questions and things of that nature. So that was the last time I spoke to him, and he had mentioned that they were going to do a concert and some kind of concert for him in New Jersey. And I was like, well, that's interesting because I live in New Jersey. And then I didn't really think much of it. And then I saw him post it out this weekend, and I was like, oh, crap, that was this weekend. And I looked it up, and it was like an hour and a half away from me up North Jersey. It was actually near Luis Rodriguez's house. And I'm pretty sure it was like the town right next to where like Bon Jovi and Bruce Springsteen live. And it was beautiful up there, guys. Holy cow, driving through this little area. It was a nice little drive, not going to lie. These homes were gorgeous. So, anyway, I drive up here and I go to this bar, or not even a bar, it's a hotel. It's like this swanky, nice place, like this nice hotel. I mean, everything on this area. Seabright, that's right, Luis Rodriguez. The town is called Seabright, New Jersey. And it is a beach town, and it is pretty ritzy. You can tell there's some money around there. So anyway, so I have no idea. I just Google it and just go over there to see what's going on. And I pull up in this hotel. It's pretty cool looking. And they have this big bar. And I just kind of park and walk over. And then there's this pool. And I just kind of walk right in. And just there's like a bar in the back, like along the water there. And there was like a band set up to play and all these people. And it was like kind of already not real packed, but there was quite a few people over there. And then the band was setting up, so I just went over to the dude Pat. I didn't know who he was, obviously, but he was the drummer. And he was setting up, and I said, "Hey man, quick question. What are you guys doing with Joe Exotic?" And he just looked at me. He was like, "Oh, he's supposed to call in." I was like, "All right, cool. I'm Dougie Fresh Picks. I always talk to him, interview him." And I told him I'd come here, and he told me to ask for the band guys because you guys were talking to him. Pat was so cool. He was like one of the coolest dudes. All the band members, super cool, super talented guys too, man. I'll tell you what, I know music like that from growing up and my buddies all being in bands, and these guys were super talented. They go by Ray Tiger. That's how they got involved with Joe Exotic, because they have the Tiger in their name. So it's REY underscore TIGRE underscore on Instagram. And I'll tell you what, these guys brought out a huge crowd, and it was awesome. And so they I talked to Pat. They're getting set up, and he says, "Hey, Joe's going to call around 4." So we kind of coordinate everything, and then we had a call. We played it through the microphone so that everybody could hear it, and I'm going to have a video up later on. You guys can check it out as well. And there's a couple of videos that Joe Exotic already posted on Facebook that the other guys had taken, and they obviously had camera guys and everybody else. So there was things being posted up, but you can see me and Pat up there at the microphone talking with Joe Exotic. And yeah, there was a lot of people. It was pretty wild, I must say. And then the guys were jumping into the water. It was like the bay on the one side, the ocean was obviously across the street, and they were jumping off the dock, doing belly flops, jumping into the pool. It was quite the scene. I'm not gonna lie, the guys were a really good band. Everybody was super nice. People were coming over like, "Yo, that was a great interview call with Joe Exotic," and yeah, I was like, I'm glad it all went well. That was perfect, and Pat appreciated me being there, and I appreciated them because they were really good, and it was a fun time. I'm gonna say I would have stayed way later, but it was an hour and a half drive from my house, so I didn't want to stay too late. But yeah, I had a great time, and obviously we spoke to Joe Exotic, and I'll put the video up. So Pat and the crew, the band, you guys were awesome. Great time, and everybody, I'm telling you, what a great crowd. Beautiful shore town right there, and I'll give the hotel. It's called Beach Walk Hotel in Seabright, and that place is awesome. I'm telling you, they had this little bar in the back. People were out there fishing. The boats were pulling up, and they had docks for people to like park your boat and come up. It was just an awesome scene, guys, and it was a beautiful day out, especially on the water, and just had a really good time. So that was fun, and a lot of people actually, it was funny because I had just been talking to the guys, Pat and the band and everybody, and a lot of people had thought I'd known the guys and I was good friends with them. As a matter of fact, the one lead singer guy, I'm trying to think of his name. I'm terrible at names, obviously, but his younger brother, I was talking to him and he's like, "Man, I never met you before." And I was like, "Yeah, I just met the band." He's like, "Oh, no way. I thought you were like good friends with the guys." And I was like helping him set up a little bit, and helping him with the sound and stuff and the mixer guy. So yeah, good time, guys. But talk to Joe Exotic. I'll put that video up so you guys can hear it. And like I said, it was a sea of people there and just a great crowd, and the band was awesome. And so that was really cool there, Donnie. And so my buddy Donnie's hopping on here, posting along. I see him. And so yeah, that was yesterday. And then today I had a busy day, and now it's already past 8 o'clock on a Sunday night. Time flies. And again, that Eagles game was crazy. I'm looking at the highlights right now. They're on, and holy cow, what a game that one was. And if you didn't see it, check out the highlights from that game, and we'll check out the highlights from the stock market. Get cruising. And like I said, the Chiefs and Giants are playing tonight. Elon and Trump are making up, and let's see what else is going on in the world. So here we go, guys. We'll get cruising right along through our list. You guys want to see something, let me know. But that Raya was looking really good. Towards the end of the week, it was even spiking up. I know it got up to like 7 cents, a little over 7. And it should try to run up a little bit more tomorrow. You can see it got out of the basement, went a little flat, as they like to do on a weekend right there. So that is what Raya did. But you can see it has that little look right there. It's a little flat. We'll see what happens to it in the morning. And there you go for RAYA. And ORIS right here. Let's see what that's up to. And that one is cruising along. And ORIS was moving right along all this at the end of the week right here. Still in this channel, looking pretty good. So that one should curl up right there. NEPIX right here. Another one we've been watching. And look at this bad boy curling up. So this one's starting to run up right there. EPIX. So definitely be keeping an eye on that one this week. As you can see, not looking bad there. And let's go through our open and the other ones right here. Open door, like I said, I'm not messing with that right now. It seems to be overvaluated, and it's had so many run-ups right there. I was surprised by the last one. So QMCO, what a blast off, and looking good the other day. And look at that thing on Friday, and that thing's in the top. So keep an eye on it. It was running up some more in the after hours right there, QMCO, and your 20 and 50 are going to meet up. So there you are with your QMCO. And let's see what our other computer hardware and quantum ones were doing, because they weren't looking bad right here. That quantum computing QBT shot way up as well. And also QBTS right here was jumping up, but that had been running up the D wave. And of course, our QTUM, the Defiance Quantum, is shooting up, and that one's still going up. We did like that one. And our IONQ is continuing up, guys. I mean, that one was on the night note like all week. And the Z Space, I don't know what's up with this thing, but it doesn't seem to want to get moving when even all the other ones are moving. I thought for sure that one would kind of have a nice little setup look and start popping, but it obviously isn't. And our cat trying to curl up right here. So that's looking good. Speaking of cats, the lion wasn't looking bad right here. So keep an eye on that thing this week, LGHL. And how about the cheetah right here, CTNT, and a little bit of healthy pullback as that sets up this week. And let's look at our JAGX and see what JAGX is doing. Just a little pullback right there, and we'll see if it wants to get set up off that MACD this week. And there's your Big Cats Mags or Big Cats computer hardware and quantum ones, definitely not the Mag 7. And UNH right here trying to get rolling up, but it does have that resistance. So let's watch it. You know when it's going to bounce. That line's going to come right through. And it's going to have a really nice bounce. And OSCR, good old Oscar, had run up in the morning, pulled back a little bit. Still doesn't look bad. It looks like the bottom. Could pull back a little bit this week. So just watch for any pullback on OSCR, good old Oscar right there. And ABTC, the old American Bitcoin Corp. And that's a Trump company right here. Just hitting that bottom. Surprised it's actually bottoming down with our crypto still ripping up there. I mean, it's not blasting off, but it's still pretty good. So ABTC right here, American Bitcoin, and that is pulling back. So just watch for that to pull back. And Pew right here pulling back a little bit. So I bet Pew's going to roll off that MACD, dude. So keep an eye on PEW right there. And let's see what NCPL, good old Net Capital's doing right here. And let's see, because that's been running up slowly. And I don't know if it's going to really blast off yet, but it's just looking pretty good in that channel. PSQH has been looking good running up right here and hitting that top. So we'll have to see what it does as it opens up this week. And that is what it's looking at right now for them Trump companies. And there you go with them bad boys. And Gush right here. Let's see what Gush is doing, because that one, I'm telling you, oil and gas still setting up right here. You can see a little bit of pullback, and I'll be watching these guys as they open up tomorrow to see what Gush is doing. It won't be doing anything in the pre-market right there. And it has that pullback look, but also is set up. And we'll see what our other oil and gas ones are looking like, because this one isn't bad at RBNE, and this is trying to get set up. So I'm definitely keeping an eye on these. TMDE right here isn't looking bad either as it comes down to the MACD, and seems like it wants to roll off there. So there you go with TMDE. So yeah, that one looks like it's going to roll off and be pretty decent. So we'll be watching oil and gas this week. As a matter of fact, let's just see real quick what they look like as I just scroll down. That one's not bad, BANL. And let me just see, a couple are pulling back right there since they had run up. That one's way up there right now. And a couple setups, a couple pullbacks. So we'll be watching it to see if they really want to get cruising. That IMPP was way down there. No, what was the one that was way? That one, HESM. That one's a nice dip right there. Let's take a look at that bad boy. But yeah, they seem to be kind of pulling back. So I'll be watching the old oil and gas this week. We'll look at Oxy and ExxonMobil. But look at this bad boy right here. That took a nice dip, and it looks like it still wants to get set up here. So HESM, I'm going to have to look at that bad boy this week and see what that's doing tomorrow right there. And let me see what else is going on with just Oxy. And yeah, they were all pulling back right there. ExxonMobil as well. I know that was pulling back Friday. I couldn't remember what Oxy was doing. So there you go with the oil and gas. We'll see what they're up to this tomorrow morning when they open up. And OCGN right here, way in the top, guys. So obviously it run up, wasn't in the 140s, 148, getting a little bit of pullback. We'll see. You might get that bounce back up there in the morning for OCGN. Oh, let me X out of this one right here. Keep that one open. There we go. And OCGN, yeah, look at this thing. That looks like it could have topped out. So we'll see if it has a little healthy pullback or wants to bounce up there tomorrow. So, and this week, obviously. So we'll be watching that one. And let's just keep on cruising right through. We'll get done early, and we can watch the NFL game. So BMNR right here. Let's see what's going on with BMNR. And it was up a little bit, just getting set up right here as the Ethereum treasury ones have been looking pretty decent, and crypto's not looking bad. And SBET right here, let's see what that's up to. SBET, and that's SharpLink Gaming. And let's see what that's doing. That one's a little bit flat right there. And SBET right here. Yeah, it's just a little bit flat. We'll have to see. Maybe you might have a little bit of pullback this week. I don't know though. I'll have to see. Hold on. Let me see, what is crypto even at? Because I saw it on the stock cube right there, and we'll see what's going on over here. But it's let's look at our crypto real quick. As a matter of fact, real quick, let's see what they're doing. And Bitcoin is kind of just trying to make a stable spot right there, coming down to that MACD. So we should get curled back up. Ethereum's the one I really wanted to look at, and it is pulling back right there. That's why the other ones are pulling back at the moment. So we'll see Ethereum and see if it can hold up on that 50, having a little bit of pullback. I didn't even really look at it today, to be honest with you. Even Solana was pulling back. I did see it was down a little bit because, again, I see it on the stock cube all the time. And, of course, Ripple right here been setting up. That's a good look to try to bounce back up. So we'll definitely be watching our crypto in the morning to see if it wants to bounce back up after the weekend. And Doge coming down on the MACD right there, Azure 20 and 50 underneath. Let's see what Cardano, that was in the like almost at 90 the other day. And let's see where it's at. Yeah, it was just over there. It's hitting that 20. Cardano actually doesn't look too bad right there to try to bounce off. So we'll be keeping an eye on that one. And Stellar right here is just in that little channel right there. Chainlink had pulled back. I saw that one down a little bit. And Optimism right here is a little bit of pullback. So, and that is some pretty good pullback. So we'll be keeping an eye on them. And we'll look at our ETF now that Elon and Trump are making up here. So let's see what that's up to real quick. Hold on one second. I got to pull up the chart. Oh, there it is. And that is at what, 578. So it's still holding up pretty well, guys, and it should be pretty good. See if it gets right into that channel. It's holding itself, like I said, nice and steady right there. And then obviously Trump and Elon making up at the Charlie Kirk funeral today. So they were sitting together, shaking hands and talking. That's always a good sign right there. And let's just keep on cruising through, guys, and see what's up. This UPXI, the Solana one, this one's getting set up as well. So obviously Solana's pulling back, and you're probably going to have a little roll off right here and pull back as it gets set up a little bit better. So catch a better price. It looked really good. And it looked good Friday too, but I'm imagining that you're going to have that little bit of pullback right there as we see Solana pulling back just a hair, but we'll see what they want to do in the morning right there. And this Neon right here was trying to run up last week. Little pullback Friday, but look at that curl up going on. So definitely keep an eye on Neon right here. It looks like it bottomed out right there. NEON. And like I said, it was getting bright, and it is starting to curl up nice right there. So definitely one to keep an eye on for this week. NEON. And how about AppLovin right here? Just keeps on cruising, guys. Friday was flying up some more. I keep thinking it wants to get topped out, and it just keeps going higher. So keep an eye on that in the morning for some momentum, because it hasn't stopped. So I guess we got to keep an eye on it until it kind of stops right there. And CoreWeave not looking bad either. And that looks like it wants to jump off and pop up a little higher. Circle not looking bad either. And that looks like it could continue up. Obviously, the market conditions will tell us what it's going to do in the morning. But as of right now, on a Friday after it closed, it does not look bad right there for Circle. And BITF right here. Here's Bit Farms. And that one had run up a little bit of pullback right there. And like I was saying the other day on Thursday, be sure to lock in some profits while it was up in them 360. Can it roll right back up and go higher? It certainly can. But again, probability and risk, put it out there and just lock them up. The profits are always nice. And ORBS right here, this 8Co, and this was OCTO, Octo, or whatever it was the other day when it ran up, and now it's ORBS. So they did change their stock ticker, and it's still getting set up. I just been kind of watching this one each day, and it's just not ready yet. Maybe we see that curl up to this week, but I'm not sure. It depends again what crypto really wants to do. So we'll be watching that as that opens up in the morning. And FedEx, I've told you I'm terrible at earnings, guys. We're good at everything else, but I just go around the earnings because it looked like it wanted to pull back. It blasted off for its earnings over there the other day. And I was like, well, there you go. Yeah, Thursday it was. I was trying to remember if it was Thursday or Friday. It was Thursday. It did pop and then it pulled back on Friday. So FedEx jumped up on earnings, pulled back a little bit, and it is setting up. It looks better than UPS right now. I can tell you that right at the moment. So we'll see if UPS can get set up over that 20, but UPS isn't looking the greatest at this time. And like I said, I know they're trying to make the whole company into like robotics and stuff. It's kind of crazy. And let's see what BTCT is doing. BTC Digital right here. And this one's getting set up. It had been running up last week, still kind of making a base right there. And another one that's going to run up with the old crypto. And Copen right here, Laptop Travel likes this one. It was running up into its all-time highs on Friday. A little bit of healthy pullback. Let me see what it looks like over here for KOPN right here. KOPN, Copen. And let's see, did that game start? I think it's going to start right now or something. Anyway, here we go. I'll keep you updated on that. And there's KOPN right there, and it did jump up. So we'll have to see how that opens up tomorrow. And let's keep on cruising through and see what Caterpillar was doing. That pulled back a little bit right there. And that one was running up last week. It did run up early in the morning. It's still in the top. I have a feeling it could continue its way up. It did kind of look like it ran again. Fridays, when they do that to you, it makes it real hard. You're like, well, it could run up a little higher, but it also could pull back right there. So you do have to lock in some profits as it's running up. That's for sure. And yeah, I don't think the game started yet, so I'll let you know. And there's Caterpillar right there, CAT. And let's see what BBAI is doing, because the big bear was running up pretty big, and it looks like it wants to continue its way up tomorrow. And I know I gave you guys this one nice and early and on the list too, on the night list, and bam. And I know I had that, and that one's running up there. And the other one I have is Plug right there. It was plugging away and looking good. And I know I told you guys about this one as well. So they were two beauties for the end of the week, and we'll see how they open up, what they look like. This ASTS Space Mobile's getting set up, AST Space Mobile, and looking pretty good right there. So might want to keep an eye on that one as well. And ASTS right here. It's getting into that channel, curling up, not looking bad. And AIHS. I was trying to see the letters there. And this little smaller cap one, I'm telling you, grabbed my attention the other day. Let's just see if it pulls back, how much tomorrow. And obviously, I was just watching it towards the end of the week. But it appears like it wants to get cruising again. It had that little spike up over here the other day. It ran up to like 454. And I'm telling you, if this thing curls up a little bit with it in it, it's going to fly off. So that's AIHS right there. Not sure what they do. A China company, rental and leasing services. So I'll look at that in the morning. And then this Reborn Coffee right here, REBN, getting to be in a good spot after it pulled back. So that one looks like it could easily bounce up this week. And I might want to keep an eye on this thing. I'll be watching that in the morning as well. Good old REBN. And again, they don't let you know what any of these are really going to do on a Friday going in over the weekend, but we try to tell what's going on, what looks good, and what's set up, and could have the possibility. And then obviously after the market opens up, you can kind of tell what's going on for the most part. Lulu bouncing up, hitting a little resistance, but it appears like it wants to get through right there. And another one, look how they leave it on the weekend, just hitting a little resistance, just kind of hanging through. It could go either way, but it looks like it wants to continue its way through for LULU. And that's good old Lulu. This one ran up the other day, LVLU. I remember seeing this bad boy cruising up there, and it certainly did. And that is an apparel company. And I don't know what else they do, but I know it's the letters like LULU. It's LVLU. And I know it ran. It doesn't. It's just kind of hanging out right there. And this ASST had run up there in the pre-market, a little bit of pullback, but it does look like it's trying to get turned back around right here. So it could be a good one to be keeping our eye on. ASST. I know Luis Rodriguez has been keeping an eye on this one right here to Strive, and this could easily get turned around and move right back up. And again, it's in the fours. It was just trading in the 12s, 13s, and running pretty good. So there you go. And it looked like they had merged or did something. I forget what the heck they even did. But anyway, that is ASST, yeah, because it was Asset Entities not long ago. And there you are with ASST. It's called Strive now. And TTD had pulled back and now starting to set up. It's in the basement right there, but this is starting to look good. So keep your eye on this to get set up right there, TTD. And that's Trade Desk. And let's see what it looks like over here real quick. I'm just curious because that one does look really good, and it certainly does right there. And the Sidious right here, SIDU, Aerospace and Defense one, just getting to be in a good spot right there again as it had pulled back. So I'll watch that tomorrow morning, see if it gets set up to want to run. And LUV is or Southwest Airlines. I knew it was an airline. It is Southwest, and that it looked good the other day, running up a little bit. It looks like it could continue up a little bit slowly, but it could run up some more. And INPS, is that? No, it's SNPS, I think. Yeah, this thing was running up. Luis Rodriguez had pointed this thing out, and that looks like it's going to continue some momentum right there. So that is your SNPS. And how about that Fizz? Remember, we were looking at this thing the other day, and this thing had pulled back some, but this is getting to be in a pretty good spot as it's curling up. So we'll just watch for that bottom, and I'll keep an eye on that in the morning. And KRYS, I mentioned the other day, was looking good, and it did run up on Friday, and it ran up some more in the after hours. So you can keep an eye on this in the morning as well. KRYS right there. And I don't know what they do, but it's a biotech company. It grabbed my attention the other day, and it's looking pretty good. And there you go with them. And let's keep on cruising right through. The game did start, and it is Kansas City Giants, and I think Kansas City has the ball. No, I guess the Giants. I don't even. Oh yeah, the Giants have the ball first. So there you go. I'll keep you guys updated on what's going on, and let's keep on cruising that Ton X or whatever Ton whatever the heck it's called, and TONX right here. And again, still just getting set up, but I think we're getting to that bottom area. And this week, I could have been bottomed out right there on Friday. And look at it. It's way down there. I'll be watching that one this week because that's looking pretty good. And then that FNGX is another Ethereum one right here, FNGX. And where the hell did it go? Where'd that go? It was just there, wasn't it? Before FNGX, wasn't that it? I know that's had to have been it. I couldn't have written it down wrong. FGNX. No, I did write it down wrong. I was gonna say that would be crazy. FGNX. Let me write it down the right way, and then we'll get to it. That's why I was gonna say that's crazy if that thing disappeared. We just talked to that lady Maya last week, and I just know because my daughter's name's that, so I remembered her name easily. Anyway, here we go, and yeah, that thing ran up. We thought it would that day, and it had a little healthy pullback. So we'll see this guy get set back up, but it did run up the day we thought it was going to, that FGNX, and I'll keep an eye on it, see what it wants to do this week as well. And another one of these Ethereum ones right there. And here we are. Let's keep on cruising. And General Mills, I think this was, yeah, GIS. And that had looked good the other day. We had it on the list. And there you go with that one. And that's curling up there. So keep your eyes on GIS right there. As you can see, that looks like it could keep some momentum. I know someone asked about Ocean Pal the other day, OP, and that thing was getting set up in a good spot. So you see the 20 right there. Your trend line's coming down, but I think your 20 is going to be able to pop it up a little bit faster right there. So I'll have to see that one tomorrow. QuantumScape we mentioned the other day, and that bad boy is running up and had some good momentum. And keep an eye on it to continue up in the morning, guys, because this one could keep going on its way up for QS right there. So we'll keep an eye on that. And this one was on Laptop Travel's list, that snail. And remember, I said it would crawl up a little slower than a snail and or a little faster than a snail. Boom, there you go. It was running up the other day. Look at this thing. And not sure, Electronic Gaming, I never heard of them. SNAL hitting the 50, and obviously have to see what it does. Could have a little bit of pullback right there. But we'll see in the morning. But that thing was jumping up. And how about CJET right here? And I know we had saw this on the scanners when we were going through the other day. And bam, that thing went over 100%. And keep an eye on that in the morning. I know it had some pullback in the after hours, but obviously could keep cruising the way it looks. So CJET does not look bad right there for a little momentum play. So watch that in the morning. And this YAAS, I had this on the note, and this thing was blasting off right there. Perfect timing. It curled up, and it's looking pretty good. That's another little China one right there for YAAS. So definitely watching this one in the morning, see if it wants to continue its way up or what it looks like as it opens up. And this one was popping big too, AGMH right here. And that thing's in the top, and I'd be watching it even though it had a little bit of pullback. We know this thing could get running around some more in the morning, guys. So definitely keep an eye on AGMH right there. So that one could be good. And let's see, DNN, Denson Mines. I mentioned this for a while now on the small cap show, and this one's run up pretty consistently. So there you go with DNN. And I've mentioned it on here. This uranium one, it was running up the other day, looking pretty good right there. Not sure what uranium ones look like, but let's see. And they seem to be running up. Remember, Trump, I think, was talking to somebody in the UK or whatever about uranium. Somebody. He was talking to somebody about it, and said the uranium ones were up, the quantum ones were up, and that's what you look for, things of that nature. But ARBB right here wasn't looking too bad, and watch that one in the morning, guys, because this one was jumping up as well. ARBB, and there you go. That could keep its momentum in the morning as well. And how about this? You might want to keep an eye on EYE right here, National Vision Holdings, and this is hitting the top right there, and we'll see if it gets in there in the morning for EYE, but it does not look bad as that 20 and 50 are meeting up. So definitely keep an eye on I, and that will have two eyes on it. So I'll keep an eye on it too, and that's EYE and VIRT right here. What was it? VIRT. Yeah, that's what it was. Virtu Financial or something. Look at that thing curling up. They're the kind of looks that I like right there for VIRT right there. So look at that bad boy. That's going to get running up there. You might want to keep an eye on that. That'll get cruising this week. And how about Marriott, guys? Remember, we were really early for Marriott. And here you go. It was bouncing around, but it looks like it wants to get cruising now. Look at it trying to get right through. It'll probably try to run up there this week. So Marriott not looking too bad, MAR. And Salesforce, CRM right here looking real good at 280. It was up 281 at 247 right there. So we will be watching Salesforce this week because this one's getting set up to run up some more. So that one's good. And how about FFAI right here, that Faraday Future one? And that's curling up right there. So that is looking good. And I know that was getting set up right there, looking pretty nice, Luis Rodriguez. And how about QLGN Qualigen right here? And I know Laptop Travel had mentioned this guy, so keep an eye on that. It could be cruising in the morning right there, and it was popping up there on Friday, so you have to take a look in the after hour. So obviously you have to see what it wants to do when it picks up on a Monday morning, because anything can happen, but nothing really crazy happened this weekend. So they should kind of pick up where they left off and kind of cruise up there. So there you go with them bad boys. And let's just keep on cruising. It's 0-0, 3rd and 3. And the Kansas City Chiefs had the ball on their 35, and there's 7:57 left in the first quarter. So we'll just cruise right through the rest of the list, the Laptop Travels, the Joe Lee's Jams, and do everything else. And then we will look at our Spy Mag 7 big caps, and then I'll check out and see what you guys want to see. And then we'll rock and roll right through them, see what's going on for tomorrow. And then we'll get off and you guys hop off, and then you guys can enjoy the rest of your Sunday evenings. Should be a pretty good week in the market, it looks like, as it left off pretty decent. Last week was popping, tons of poppers, guys. So it's been pretty good right there with that. And here we go. Let's see what Laptop Travels list looks like. AQMS right here, Aqua Metals. And let me bring that up, and that's in that channel spiking up on Friday. Obviously, one that we'd have to look at in the morning, but look at that thing spiking up like that on Friday. So that's why we'd have to look at it in the morning. BFRI. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see if it wants to pop up here. All right. There we go. Biofrontera. And let me see. That one's crawling up, and that one looks like the 20 wants to take it for a little ride right there. So BFRI. And yeah, that's not looking too bad in that little channel. BKYS. Oh, BKYS. No, hold on. I think that's what it says. Anyway, oh no, that's an I. BKYI. That's got to be an I. And there you go. That one actually looks good right there. BKYI. And let me see what it looks like over here. Let a little bit of pullback, but into that channel. Watch and see if it can bounce off that 20 right there. And DFSC is DEFCEC, an aerospace and defense one, DefSec. And let me see what that's doing, because that one looks pretty good, guys. It was running up yesterday, Friday, running up some more in the after hours right there, and looks like it should continue tomorrow. So that one looks pretty good. How about FAT? Good old Fat Brands right here. Remember, we were looking at all these guys, and that thing's getting set up right there. And what did it have? FAT, and then it had like BP, this thing right here. And that thing didn't look bad the other day. That was probably when it ran up right there. So you did get a little run up on that fat, but FAT, the Fat Brands one, doesn't look too bad at the moment. JTAI right here is Jet AI, and let me see what you're doing. And that one's just kind of hanging out in that channel at the moment. And again, on a Sunday night, they're a little more difficult to get a very good idea. This one was jumping up in the after hours. It appears MYSC. I know we were looking at this thing last week, and that doesn't look bad to stay set up this week. So we'll keep an eye on that. Onco right here, ONCO. And that one's been way down there. So look at that thing trying to get set up. We'll look at that one in the morning, see how that looks. And Rime right here, RIME. And that thing was trying to curl up and getting over to 50 right there. A little healthy pullback, it looks like. So that one should be pretty decent this week. And SOBR right now, Sober Safe. And look at all these bad boys way down here getting set up. That one looks pretty good. And that should continue. You can see it was moving along in the after hours right there, ULY. But again, anything can happen with these things over the weekend. Who the heck knows with some of these smaller caps too. But we look at the setups to see what we have an idea of what wants to run urgently right here. ULY could get urgently running. So keep an eye on ULY right there. I actually look, that looks like it wants to run in the morning, so that's one to keep an eye on. And WKSP, I can't even read. And we'll have to look at Worksport right there and see if it wants to bounce off. And let's look at XOS right here. And that one is XOS Inc. Heavy Construction and Farm Machinery. And it was cruising up there. That's kind of what that rhythm is, RYM, but has some resistance up there. So we'll have to see what happens when it gets up there. And yeah, laptop daughter. I was thinking about that when I said CJet laptop travel. He said his daughter's first stock trade ever right there. And I'd say it was a pretty good one. I've had Dougie sit there and like hit the mouse with me while we traded, but obviously he was little and didn't really understand exactly what he's looking at, but he's had winning trades already. And anyway, so there you go. Yeah, teach them young, I say. And RYM, let's look at our Joe Lee's jams right here and see what's going on with Asian Joe Lee's favorite ones over here. And Rhyme right here, Rhythm and Rhyme, RYM. And this thing, little pullback, could be pulling back a little bit more right there. It is kind of a cannabis one, so we'll see what it wants to do when it hits that 20 for RYM. And BLNK, Blink charging. Look at that thing running up there, not looking bad in the top. That could spike up a little bit more. Sezzle was getting set up, guys, and this one could be a really good one. We know it likes to run pretty big. And Sterling had been running up, and looks like it could keep that momentum right there. So keep an eye on STRL. Rivian, that I thought was running up. I know it was running up the other day. A little bit of pullback. I actually saw a bunch of Rivians this weekend or this in the past week. I don't know if they have like a big push going on right now, but I noticed like 3 or 4 other ones. The guy in my town has one, so I see that one. But I saw, yeah, like 3 or 4 of them. I was like, "Holy cow, I don't see any of these ever." And all of a sudden, I started seeing them. So there you are. And Symbiotic looks real good, and you might wanna keep an eye on that momentum play. And Nike right here has been pulling back, and DXYZ is pulling back a little bit, but that's gonna be a great opportunity. Still have some time to get set up, and of course, we're watching that. That's a way to get into SpaceX right there, and also SATS as well. And that one we'll have to watch. Maybe that'll try to get crawled back up, but not sure it wants to. And let's just cruise right through our Spy Mag 7 big caps. And it is 3rd and 10 right there. And it looks like the first time out, and it's 3:54 left in the first quarter. So, nothing really going on. 0-0, no score. And let's see what our spy was doing. It was up, and then it did pull back a little in the after hours, but nothing crazy. It was just kind of hanging out around the top, trying to poke its head up there, and it looked pretty good. I know it was up, and then it pulled back some a little healthy. So that was what your spy looked like. Apple looked good and looks like it wants to kind of cruise up some more. Not even sure what happened with Apple, but it did look pretty good. Let me see what happened. I'm not sure that. Trump's announcing the $100,000 fee for them H-1B visas, so that's interesting right there. But anyway, Apple looking pretty good. Not sure if they had any good news happen or what happened, but Amazon getting set back up right here, had some pullback, and we'll see. Obviously, we'll see if it wants to pull back a little bit more. It looked pretty good coming off of here, and then jumped down under that trend line right there. What the heck did I hit? And then obviously pull back the other day. So that is what Amazon's doing. Google not too bad up there, trying to run up some more, and it keeps running up a little higher. And we'll see how high that one wants to run. And here is Meta just getting set up, guys. So you can play the little bounce arounds on Meta. Microsoft looking good too. And I know I was saying that the other day, and I said I think Microsoft's going to get cruising now. So keep an eye on that. You can look at MSFD right here, I believe it is. And that is the bear one, MSFU. That's it. That's the bull. And that looks really good, guys. So you might want to keep an eye on MSFU right there. And so, because that one looks like it could get cruising, and a little cheaper way to play Microsoft. NVIDIA right here, not looking too bad on the trend line as well. And NVDU right there, I think, is a bull. Yep, there you go. And I know there's a few other ones, but there's one of them 2 times right there for NVIDIA. And of course, Tesla's been looking great, running up, and looks like it wants to run higher, even when Elon, of course, when Elon and Trump are shaking hands at Charlie Kirk's funeral. That's going to be a good look for Elon too, and Tesla. So that'll always help the stock cruise up a little bit higher there. And there you are with your Mag 7. Let's go through the rest of them, see what's going on with AMC, because we were saying it's been setting up right here, guys. And AMC wants to get blasting off. And GameStop's been looking pretty good to try to run up a little bit more. But AMC looking really good right there. And how about your Chewy? That one's been, I mean, it ran up, pulled back, but I think it gets set back up there. And Unity just keeps running back up. So interesting with that one. Netflix right here was running back up. It has that resistance right here, but maybe that's probably your bottom, and it bounces around to get back into that channel so it can blast back off. So it had a little time down, and that's why it looks like the market's pretty good. And AVGO looks like that bottomed out and wants to roll right back up. So it did have some good pullback at the end of the week last week, and it does look like it wants to get reversed. So we will be looking at AVGO to get reversed. MU had been running up at the top. A little bit of pullback, or a little more than a little pullback there, over $6 on Friday. So we'll see how that wants to run. And TSM was pulling back after hitting some all-time highs. Still in the top right there, but we'll see what it wants to do. And SMCI just kind of hanging out. That's definitely getting set up. AMD getting set up as well. So we'll watch that one this week. It could have a better week now. And QCOM had been running up, had some pullback there Friday after it ran up in the morning. Snow's been running up and looking good, and you'll probably see a little more momentum with Snow. And good old PayPal right there, a little bit of pullback. They had news with Google, and it was jumped up on the news, but it looks like that news got sold, that's for sure, and it did pull back. And let's see what Intel's doing. They are involved with the government, and it looks like it's pulling back after NVIDIA just put $5 billion into them. So interesting right there how it popped up and now it's coming back down. And how about Dell? Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they're another company that gets involved, and it's not looking bad to try to curl up there. And IBM, that one's looking real good running up, and we were all over that one super early. And Palantir right here looking better. And remember, we said we called the pullback and then the bounce back. So there you are with good old Palantir. Sophie's been looking pretty good, guys, as you can see, running up, and looks like it wants to run up some more in the morning. And of course, our Mara and Raya have been setting up. They're hitting a little resistance, a little healthy pullback, nothing crazy right there. And we did look at our crypto, and it has a little bit of healthy pullback. So again, nothing really crazy. And Clean Spark right here, if I type it in right, that one was still running up, still in the top. We'll see if it can maintain itself. I'm not so sure. And MicroStrategy ran up Thursday, a little healthy pullback on Friday. And Robinhood was running up a little bit, and looks like it wants to try to run up some more right there. Coinbase had been setting up a little healthy pullback, and Bull's still taking its time. It did have a little run up, and maybe it's getting ready now. So we'll watch that because it does look a little bit better right there as I see it. And we'll keep an eye on Bull and see what it wants to do this week. Space right here, Virgin Galactic SPCE. That one's on that trend line. I'm telling you, this thing's going to get set up to run. Just watch for any pullback. Boeing had been pulling back a little bit. We'll see if it wants to level down, as a matter of fact. And DJT getting set up right there and looking pretty good. Look at that thing trying to curl up. So, and we know if DJT looks good, usually Fun looks pretty good, and that didn't look too bad either. McDonald's right here, MCD, trying to bounce back up. It looks like it's Thursday was its bottom right there when it took that nice dip. Disney's pulling back. We'll see if it wants to pull back some more, even level down. And we looked at Oxy and ExxonMobil, and they were both pulling back there on Friday. And there you go with our list and everything that we look at. It is 3-0. Kansas City kicked the field goal right there. And there's 2 minutes and 17 seconds left in the first quarter. And the Giants have the ball. So that is what it looks like right now. So KC kicked the field goal, and that game is kind of slow. But anyway, we'll cruise right through, see what you guys want to see. And then we'll figure out what's going on in the market, and we'll hop off because we'll be on at 7 a.m. to see what's going on, as we do every single morning, Monday through Friday. We do the show at 7 a.m. to see what the pre-market's doing, and then we do this show 8 p.m. Sunday night through Thursday night. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. Greatly appreciate it. And let's go ahead and see what you guys are looking at over here, and we'll cruise right through and see what's up. And boom, boom. Let's see. Daniel Jones and the Colts 3-0 right there. So Luis Rodriguez is pretty excited about that. And let's see what's going on with your Giants tonight and see if they can beat KC. And yeah, like I was saying, I was telling the story about Joe Exotic. The concert they had this weekend, Saturday. I went to that. I was telling the story at the beginning. And the band was awesome. They were a bunch of good dudes, talented guys. And we talked to Joe Exotic. I'll put the call out. I have to finish the video up, and hopefully Pat sends me a couple quick clips. I texted him and asked him to shoot me a couple clips. But if not, I'll put the video up, and that'll be up in a little bit after the show. So I did want to hop off so I could do that tonight. No, put that in the Discord as well, and then see what's going on. And let's see right here. Luis Rodriguez has a big list there. We'll get right to them guys in a moment. So let's see what's happening. And let's go for there. OKLO. Well, that's a nuclear one right there. And OKLO was running up the other day. I know that. Remember, we were looking at it last week, and that did run up. And NUK right here, NUKK, we were looking at and had a little run up. I'd watch this thing too, NUKK. I think that one could get popping. So put that on your list for tomorrow, guys. NUKK and also OKLO. Both nuclear ones. OKLO could have some of that momentum in the morning. So keep an eye on that one right there. Oracle right here. Let's see what they're up to. and that is bouncing back up, not looking bad. So Oracle could roll right back up. AIIO right here, Robo.ai. A little bit of pullback, says it's bouncing up in the after hours. Let me take a look at it. AIIO. And it had some pullback right there. I definitely have to check that one out in the morning. And I'll check that one out. AIIO right there. And of course, our RGTI, that was cruising and looking pretty good. Looks like it could keep some momentum. ASST, we looked at that. I was saying that you like that. And SNPS was cruising up with some momentum. We looked at that. Clean Spark Neo right here, not looking bad. It's been running back up. So that's that China auto manufacturer. We'll see. It could get into the top right there for NIO. And I'm pretty sure I was talking to the guy that mixes this sound for the band yesterday, and he had said that he had some of this. He said Neo. I said, yeah, I know it. And so yeah, he said he had a bunch of that. So hopefully it goes up for him. And so there you are. And that is NIO and ASML. That one was popping last week, that's for sure. All kinds of momentum running up there. It is in the top. We'll see if it wants to run up a little bit more, but that had been running pretty well. And OLTR right here. What is that? OLTR? I'm not even sure. Let me see if it's an OTC or real quick. OLTR, and I don't even know what that is. Luis Rodriguez, could be a typo. And SBET we looked at, and like I said, that's going to get set up. That's an Ethereum one. And the 4Us right here is Energy Fuels. And that thing is popping up there and looks like it wants to get into the top for a little momentum play. So that is not looking bad. Hertz right here, HTZ. That was running up a little bit the other day. Let's see what it wants to do. It had that little spike up, and then it pulled back some, but it doesn't look bad to try to continue up. For Hertz, you can see that 20 running up there, so not looking bad. And what else is going on? LEU right here, Centrus Energy, and that looks like it could have a little momentum. Was way up there, up bigly on Friday. You're not kidding. And another $18 to 326 in the overnight. So wow, that one's still jumping up there for LEU. So keep an eye on that for some momentum. And Lightbridge right here, trying to, there you go, that one finally popped up. It was looking pretty decent the other day, trying to hang out on that line. And then finally, there you go. That 20 took it up for a ride. So LTBR, a little bit of momentum play right there. And I know Laptop Travel was liking that one before. OLTR right here. Let's look at that. OLTR. Hold on. What is that one? OLTR. Is that what it says? Yeah, OLTR. I'm not sure what that is. I'm trying to think what it could even be. And but TerraWolf right here, that one had popped up pretty good, Luis Rodriguez, the other day or last week, I'll say. And now a little pullback. I would watch out and see if it pulls back a little bit right there because it was way up there. And ASST, Laptop Travel also likes that one. Like I said, we were just watching that one to kind of bottom out last week, and I do think you have your bottom right there, so that one could be jumping up. And Luis Rodriguez has 3,000 shares of ASST right there, so I think Luis Rodriguez likes it. And NuScale Power Corp, look at that one right there. JHAN. I'm gonna say it's like Han, maybe. If I pronounced it wrong, I apologize, but appreciate you hanging out. And let's look, because this thing looks like it could be a little momentum runner in the morning as well. SMR right there. That does look pretty good, guys. So keep your eyes on that one early in the morning, because SMR looking pretty good. And it sure is up, looking nice. And let's see what else is going on right here. Boom, and Laptop Travel. He had some clients stuck in Cameroon. And so that's all good. You take care of them, guys, and I'll see you on the Small Cap Show tomorrow at 1 o'clock right there. And Giants versus Chiefs, the best of the worst. Luis Rodriguez said, "Nuck." We were talking about that. And that Duolingo, I know you like this one too. DUOL, Duolingo, or something like this. Duolingo, I guess that's how you say it. And that one was running up and looks pretty decent right there. I have to say, it doesn't look bad hitting the 20 and looks like it will get through. And BOS, Wise Crypto, pulling back. It's just a little healthy pullback. We already went through it. I'll take a look at it again for you there. and take a look and see if anything, like I said, it's see if it's going to keep itself up here on the 20. That's what I'm looking at for that Bitcoin. It'll be a big day tomorrow, and it looks like it should try to bounce up. I don't think it really wants to come down, but maybe they want to make some more room because Ethereum is definitely pulling back right there. It needs to really curl back up tomorrow. So we'll see what's in mind for crypto, but I wasn't expecting it to really get topped and pull back. And honestly, it's in a bullish trend. I don't expect it to pull back a whole lot regardless. So if it is pulling back, it should be a little healthy, just making some room on the chart. I'm just kind of cruising right through, and you can see they run up, they pull back, but they go up a little bit higher. It's stair stepping its way up, getting into that bullish channel and trying to make its way up there. BOS, boss. So there you go. And sudden die page on Bitcoin. What's that? Luis Rodriguez. And so there you are with that. Let's see what else is going on over here for a moment. And yeah, Elon and Trump making up right there. That was nice to see them guys shaking hands and stuff at the old Charlie Kirk's funeral, which is obviously not a good thing, but they were shaking hands and talking, it looked like. And a sudden drop on Bitcoin is probably what you tried to write, Luis Rodriguez. And yeah, it was a sudden. It dropped down even lower than what we looked at it earlier. So it did kind of pull back a little bit more, but we'll look at it in the morning, obviously, see if it can regain itself and push itself back up right there and just be a little healthy pullback. So that's what we're looking at right there. Let's see what this news says right now. Asian shares rise as Japan rallies and dollar gains. Wall Street strategists say stocks could keep rising from records, and stock futures are a little changed after Dow, S&P 500 have fresh records. They hit fresh records like every day. And now that the Fed has cut rates, investors can focus on what really matters for markets and Wall Street. Week ahead, U.S. housing shares shrine as Fed restarts rate cuts right there. And we'll see. There's no economic data today because it was a weekend, but tomorrow, New York City's manufacturing, Empire State, and the 3-month bill auction and 6-month export prices there, and retail stuff on Tuesday. And Wednesday, the mortgage information. So that'll be good. And interest rate projections right there. And then on Thursday, initial jobless claims and all that good stuff. And Philly's Fed manufacturing. So you get a couple, you always get a bunch of good stuff every week. And there you go for your economic calendar. And let me just see if there's anything good trending over here besides some coins that are usually trending over the weekend because they're moving all weekend. So let me just take a quick look and see what's going on. That Snapchat was pulling back a little bit right there. We had been looking at it run up. Is pulling back. And that OKLO, Apple, Sophie, RGTI, Ethereum is trending down. Neo up, and BBAI, Big Bear, still trending right there and looking pretty good. So there you go with Big Bear and looking pretty nice. And I gave you guys that bad boy the other day. And obviously your QMCO and all them guys that were running up. So that is what the market looks like right here, guys. I would say that's a pretty good Sunday review. Told you about the Joe Exotic. If you didn't hear it, listen to the beginning. And again, I'm going to go hop off and finish up the video for that so I can post it up. You guys can check it out. But yeah, the Beach Walk Hotel in Seabright is a cool place. Really great crowd, and that band was cool. Ray Tiger or something, I think they go by on Instagram, and they were really cool dudes. Pat was a good dude, and all the band, they were super nice. And so yeah, it all went really well. And I'm telling you, it was packed. They had that place packed with people, and like I said, I didn't even stay the whole night. I can only imagine it got way more crowded as the night went on a Saturday night around there. And people were like literally pulling up on boats, and it was really good. It was a good scene, good time. So glad I made it out there, and we had a great call with Joe Exotic. So everybody was super hyped up and excited about it. It was really fun. So I'll post that information in that video And there you go. I'd say I think we got to everything. The NFL is a little wild. That, like I said, that Eagles ending's crazy. If you didn't catch the highlights on that, be sure to catch them highlights. They were pretty wild today. And I think we got to everything right there, guys. So I have to thank everybody for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. You guys know that. Be sure to follow along on X, YouTube, Instagram, all that good stuff. And I put out a little gardening tip today from Dougie. If you didn't see that video, you can check it out. And we were just kind of doing some stuff in the yard and trying to kill some time because we were outside doing stuff, and Dougie just wants to do all kinds of different things now. So it's a lot of fun, and it's like 15-20 minutes and then we're doing something else. And so we were doing some gardening for a little bit and picking some marigolds and pulling the seeds out for next year. You can plant them and save yourself some money, but also line like your flower or your garden beds with them. And marigolds are really good for that, so I like to do that with them, and then just line them up with the seeds from the marigolds that died the previous year. It works out pretty well. Anyway, there you go, everybody. So we will be back on at 7 a.m. to go through the pre-market, see how the market's opening, and the 4 a.m. Warriors will be on in the Discord, hopping on with laptop travel and crushing it right there. And I'll give you guys the beautiful setups, like I said, and they'll all be nice and easy hits and just like they've been. And we'll keep on cruising through the market and hitting the poppers and catching everything else. So there you go, everybody. And Luis Rodriguez said he hit up a local Greek festival today, and the food was killer. I always love them festivals. They're always nice, food trucks and them food festivals and stuff. They're always great time. You can always walk around and get so much food. They're not cheap, obviously. Everything's expensive, but it is fun for the day. And if you take a family of four, you'll spend a fortune. It is still a good time. And there you go, everybody. So thanks again. Be sure to like the show and all that good jazz, as my son says, all that good jazz now. And the score is 3-0 KC. It is the second quarter right here, and Kansas City has the ball. So there you go. They're both 0-2 teams right there. Can you believe that? Kansas City's 0-2. And there you go, Luis Rodriguez. You can go watch your Giants play. And I think Kelsey might have just caught the ball, but it's a flag. So there you go. You guys go enjoy the rest of the football game, the rest of your Sunday evening, the rest of your weekend, and get some rest, because this week could be another great one, guys. The markets have been pretty exciting lately. And we're going to be on. We'll be live trading in the Discord as well and doing all that. So we're stepping it up a little bit in the Discord. I'll be giving you guys the prices and everything I'm trading. And then you got laptop travel in there for the 4 a.m. poppers. They're quick, but you got them. And Luis Rodriguez said he's only minutes away from Giants Stadium. So that's pretty cool. And I guess that's your team then. But they're 0-2 right now. And we'll see if they're even any decent this year. I know you were saying that before. It's hard to be a Giants fan sometimes. And that's how the NFL works, I guess. Maybe it'll get good again and be a good team. They were pretty decent at one point when they had like Phil Simms and stuff, but that's been a while. And I told you, I was a chef. I used to cook for Phil Simms. He was super cool guy, and super nice to everybody. All the talent was always super nice. So anyway, that's a whole nother story we've talked about. But you guys enjoy your evening here, and be sure to come back at 7 a.m. so you can see what the market's looking like at the morning and what we're going to get into this week and what's going to be popping, obviously. And yeah, it's a tough business, the NFL. It sure is, getting traded all around. Can you imagine playing a professional sport and just like having to pack up and move around the country all the time because you get traded or this or that? It's cool, but it's at the same time pretty crazy as well. It's a crazy life. I knew a lot of the Flyers players, and yeah, at any moment they could just get traded, and at any moment you could get signed a big bonus and get a couple $1,000,000 too. So it is one of them crazy lives, being a professional athlete. And so yeah, and it doesn't last forever. That's the other thing. So you have to be pretty smart and wise with your money. Invest it well, because if not, you will not have it very long. That's for sure. They can burn through it pretty fast. And you've seen that happen a lot. So there you are, everybody. And we will be back at 7 a.m. You guys be sure to hit the like button. Come back at 7. We'll do the show. Knock it out of the park like we always do. And I'll post a video of Joe Exotic and that concert at the Beach Walk Hotel in Seabright this Saturday. It was really cool at Ray Tiger. So that will be up. And any questions, be sure to hit me up on X. Check out the Discord. Any questions about that, let me know. And then there you go, everybody. So be sure to enjoy your evening. And all information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only, not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. Thanks again, Luis Rodriguez, BOS Boss, and Laptop Travel. And of course, Doge Mom and 9. My buddy Donnie was hopping on, and a few other people over there. Who else was on there? I seen a couple other people hopped on. So Asian Joe Lee's always on, and a bunch of other people. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I appreciate it. And if you have any questions, just hit me up on X, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Have a good night, everybody.